We're going. You don't get a counting or anything. We're just going. There you go. You're on live on the internet to everyone. Enjoy it. The kilobytes, are they going to maintain, or am I going to have to turn it off and on again? That's why I'm here 10 minutes early, of course. That's why I'm here 10 minutes early for Mental Health Monday. 10 minutes early, of course. I'm not got my headphones plugged in, but you can hear me. So this sort of, for this sort of business, that's why I'm here 10 minutes early. For this sort of business. Plug that in there. There we go. Those wires will all mess about and tangle with each other and cause all sorts of extra feedback for you. No doubt. There you go. That's what you like. Let's pop out your chat. Let's pop you out. You're popped. Popped and shuffled. Get you popped and shuffled. That's that. Get you popped and shuffled. And let's switch on the WebBubba browser, of course. Which, for today, WebBubba browser, of course, is Mental Health Monday. So we're looking at mental health stuff. We've got our own YouTube channel that sort of sits there looking nice while we talk sometimes, doesn't it? New video on there, look. New video. Do you have tips for getting vulnerable? That was a question that we had last week. Photonic Flow, new Gaji Puka Warrior crew member. So I cut that into a little video. There you go. That's nice, isn't it? You like that? And we're rolling. We're doing all right, aren't we? Look, kilobytes are up. I'm going to do the session take. We're going to get the big face on the go just to make sure that's working. Oh, look. You don't need to see the Nintendo Switch today, my friend. That's gone. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's all happening now. It's all happening now. That's not a threat. That's just, you know, it is happening now. And there's, oh, that's too big, isn't it? That. Oh no. I'm glad we're here 10 minutes early to get this out of my system. Just shuffle it around. Good at shuffling. Good at shuffling. Everybody's shuffling. No, not these days. That's an old trend. Make me look old. Nobody's shuffling these days. Only the old people. So here's the. There you go. You like that? The old people are shuffling as well, aren't they? They literally shuffle, don't they? So. Excited to be. I always considered doing an ASMR video of threats, not guarded threats, just straight out threats, just whispered threats and meanness, rude meanness. Always considered doing that as an ASMR video. Always tempted to knock that one out of the park. And today, for the first, you were like this, for the first time ever, I sat down and wrote a script for the ASMR channel for the first time ever. For the first time in a long time, and it's mainly about, you know, what's been going on over here, isn't it? It's mainly about the stuff we've been doing. But I thought they'd like to hear it in a whisper, and I thought since I've got the kit now and we've got that little desk thing with the little twiddling, you know, plug in the mic, set it up here, I could do that. In fact, I want to do it. So there we go. That's it. I'm not making any promises. I also quite want to do a little bit more. So that's coming in the pipeline. As long as, you know, don't make any promises that you end up not. Don't get too excited yet. It's just I've written it now, just like what I did on my holidays. I'm not on my holidays. What I've done on my stream, what we've been doing, and that's because this weekend I got a little bit excited myself, and I did this. Look, this is just shuffle you about a bit more. Look, so you can see a bit of this. Look, this is our channel, Ganji Kid on YouTube, where I just upload the full stream archives. So that's just everything that we do like this, just as you see on Twitch, just on YouTube a day after, or a week after if it's Mental Health Monday, after I've edited the official version and that's gone live. This is Ganji Kid, our YouTube channel. I'm giving it a little colour, topper colour, little thing. Twitch affiliate, links, chuffers. It's appropriate, isn't it? Chuffers. I thought I'd just put that there. I was trying to think of what do people write on the, you know, they write things on the top of their things, don't they, about, you know, videos every this or thing that. And I just wrote chuffers as a little placeholder, and then I just left it there. So that's chuffers. Look. And the little Ganji Kid mushroom head. Obviously that's copyright Nintendo, isn't it, really? The mushroom, I think. But I've adapted it for my own purpose with the little grass growing out of his head, little Ganji Kid mushroom. So that's Ganji Kid. That's where I just dumped the entire archive, but also got a little bit excited. We've got 4 minutes before I have to do the official Mental Health Monday introduction. So we're not on Mental Health Monday yet. I'm still in my own time here. This is this is look, Ganji Cuts. Ganji Cuts. What's that? Well, it's a new channel. You can just do as many channels as you want these days on YouTube. Back when I started, you were only allowed to do like 2 or 3 per phone number, extra validation on the. Nowadays, you just click a button. Oh, there's another one. Oh, I've accidentally dropped my pen over there. Oh, I've done another YouTube channel. So, but I thought I'm dumping all this stuff onto onto Battery Exhausted. I'm dumping a lot of stuff onto Battery Exhausted, and that's become a lot of a mess, hasn't it? We know about that. We know about the mess of Battery Exhausted. So I thought what I'd do is I'll make this one clear. Ganji Cuts. So you've got your stream here. That's the stream, isn't it? That's the full. And look, you clearly see, look, at the top there, chuffers and the colours. And then Ganji Cuts. It's basically the same, isn't it? Look, chuffers and the colours. See what I'm doing? See? Branding, that is branding. Chuffers. And that's the cuts. So I put the bus driver cut, because I didn't know where to put the bus driver cut. Where was I edited some of the funny bits out of the bus driver thing. And I thought, where am I going to put that? Definitely doesn't belong on the ASMR channel. That definitely doesn't belong on Battery Exhausted, really, does it? Battery Exhausted being a bit of a vegan vloggy channel doesn't, the bus driver thing. And I thought to myself, there we go. Ganji Cuts, new channel. I should subscribe. Look, I'll press the button. There you go. Everyone will know what to do now. And that's got one video. It's got the new video, what I did on my Fortnite grind. That video is going on this. In fact, it's finished. It's finished. It's uploaded. I'm ready to release it. But you don't want to release a video today and then tomorrow and then not for a week and a half or a month or 3 months like the art one, because we've also got that, haven't we? I should have done this before we started. Ganji Kid Art Chat. Let's see if it actually brings it up. Yeah, there you go, look. Ganji Kid Art Chat. I've done the same for that, look. Giving it its own colours. Giving it its own little mushroom head. So it's branded now. It's all in the same thing. We haven't put up an art video for 3 months, I realised when I saw that. And I thought, oh no. So what we're going to do now, I've got 1 minute before Mental Health Monday comes in. I'm going to push this a little bit further. What we're going to do now is I'm doing Monday, Mental Health Monday. I'm editing on Tuesday. That's up. We're in flow. We've got that running. We're consistent. I'm also doing Ganji Cuts. Where's that one gone? Oh, I didn't put it in another window, did I? I'm also doing Ganji Cuts. There you go. That's happening every week. In fact, what I did on the Fortnite grind, that's quite an interesting video. It doesn't belong on the art chat. It doesn't belong on Battery Exhausted. That can go there as well. That's coming on every week. So these are consistent now. Ganji Cuts and Mental Health Monday, they're consistent. This is consistent. Ganji Kid, the stream archive, the full length thing. You're off. Do you know what? I was thinking this week about whether I should start streaming at 2 in the morning so it's better for you. And I think I might try and work this. And I'm going to go on to say about my new routine. I think I'm going to try and work in something late night here, daytime from where you are. You know, I appreciate that you drop in, and I appreciate that it's probably like a different. Like, you know, I'm on my 8 p.m. GMT, Mental Health Monday. I'm on my chilling time now. But I appreciate it's different in America, isn't it? And yeah, you can always catch this on. We've got our own YouTube channel, haven't we? Which is what I was just talking about there. Mental Health Monday. Boom. You can always catch this there. So I'm going to talk to you in the future, even if you're not here, and then you just watch it in the future, which will be right then for you. So that's fine. So yeah, as I was saying, we've got these now clearly identifiable, and this Ganji Kids stream archive, regular uploads. That's happening. Mental Health Monday, regular uploads. It's not going to have its own Ganji Kid logos there. Just Mental Health Monday, regular. That's happening. We got that. Oh, is the mouse happening? Oh, don't. The mouse is working, yeah. So we've now got Ganji Cuts. I regularly make a video every week from the stuff we do on stream. Ganji Cuts. That's happening. And the one that I wanted to add to that, the other string to that bow that I wanted to reawaken, is Art Chat. So my new schedule now, I'm planning, please, life allowing, my new schedule is Mental Health Monday, every Monday, 8 p.m. GMT. Edit on Tuesday. Wednesday stream, art takes, art chats, art stream, art chats. Yeah, absolutely. Hello Snips. Everyone should take Monday off. Chuff Monday. Chuff Monday, I'll tell you that. I used to work as a hairdresser, and because we work Saturdays, I had the opportunity to say, oh, we're going to shift our weekend, Chuff Monday off. But the bad things always happen on Monday. That's why we do Mental Health Monday every Monday, 8 p.m. GMT. So my new schedule. Now I've got confused again. So Wednesdays, art takes. We're going to work that in now, more regular. And then the other days, of course, Thursday I could do edit. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we can do the the chuffery that we get up to. And we've got those clearly identifiable now, haven't we? Look, Ganji Kid, Art Chat, Ganji Cuts. And this is Mental Health Monday. So don't worry about the other channels. True Binaural is going to obviously exist. We talked earlier about the fact that I'm going to repeat all of that sort of stuff on an ASMR based whisper video for them, because I really want to introduce them to this new era of the journey in a format that they will appreciate, and to do some more ASMR from time to time. So that's going to stay the way it is. You know, I'm not going to rebrand that with Ganji ASMR. That's just going to stay the way it is. But I've also got an idea too, because Battery Exhausted, of course, is a bit of a mess, isn't it? It's a bit of a mess. So I thought we might do Ganji Vegan. We might also do Ganji Music, or just give the music pieces their own space, you know, their own Big Valley YouTube. Even though I'm not producing a lot of Big Valley music anymore, it can still exist on its own YouTube, can't it? But we might do Ganji Vegan. But first of all, we've got to keep these plates spinning. So we've got to keep Mental Health Monday going. We've got to make sure we've got new Ganji cuts every week, and we've got to add in the art thing. This week we're adding in the art thing, and ongoing we're going to keep it consistent in the same way as we do mental health, because we were doing it, but we just went off the boil a little bit with it as life started to throw things at me. So that's the future. That's the future plan. And what I wanted to say is thank you to all the supporters, the subscribers, the patrons. It's, you know, I believe in the future of our content, and so do you. So that's the main thing. Yeah. So that's what's happened. That's what's happened this weekend. That's what I've been working on. The sort of not rebrand, but yeah, rebrand for these new Ganji Cuts channel, and for the identifiable brand of it, like that. Working on that so we can do that, and in my mind, you know, organising that schedule. So we're going to have those more consistent streams. Cool. Here on Mental Health Monday, I should do the introduction. Let's do that. I'll do this again, so that if you didn't see that for the first time, you get another one. And then we'll do this introduction to Mental Health Monday. So, hi, you're with Scott. I can't edit like that. I was talking and then I just went straight into it. That'll never. Bit of silence first. All the anticipation. Hi, you're with Scott. It's Mental Health Monday. It's midnight. It's always midnight. It's actually 8 p.m. GMT. This is your right ear and your left ear. They like me to say that. So, yeah, that's the introduction. I've done that. And what we're doing today, I'm all cheerful, you know. If you fancy a chuckle, go and watch that video about the bus driver simulator. It's all the funny bits. You might have to search YouTube by exactly Glory to the Bus Driver Ganji Cuts and filter it by this week, because otherwise other things will come up. The search engine hasn't got a hold of me yet. But if you want to have a chuckle, go and watch that. You know what I could do? I could copy that into the old chat, couldn't I? Look, there you go. Shilling for myself. That's acceptable to shill for yourself. That's that channel there. Go and have a watch of that. But don't, stay here and we'll do Mental Health Monday. Because what we're doing is, last week we talked about crisis point. We talked about how to recognise a mental health crisis and intervene. We looked at this webinar series from Psychiatric Care Unit Director Jacqueline Bienstock. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. I use this as a jumping off point to talk about these topics. And we got on to what to do. We basically looked at, last week, how to recognise a mental health crisis in someone else, in yourself, and what to do in that situation. But we didn't really get to the what to do. What we got to is what happens if it involves suicide or a risk of suicide. And because that's so serious, we went from how to recognise these things, how to recognise the signs of suicide, to what to do about suicide risk. And then we had to stop. So this week we're going to pick up where we left off, and we're going to talk about how to make a plan for crisis point, which sounds a bit strange because making a plan for crisis, but I suppose it doesn't sound strange, does it? Because you could make a crisis plan, couldn't you? We're going to look at, well, I'm just moving this past that, yeah, techniques that may help de-escalate a crisis. We're going to look at that. So that's in there today. And as I said, planning for a crisis. They're the main topics: planning, how to de-escalate it, and we're going to try and look at it from two perspectives. From the perspective of I'm having the crisis, this is happening in my head, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling down, and things are breaking apart. That personal perspective, obviously I said I then, but you having the crisis, we're going to look at it from that perspective, but we're also going to look at it from the perspective of we know someone who is having some sort of crisis, how can we help? So there's two perspectives there. So you can, it doesn't matter who you are, you can get something from this. And I'm going to try and not make too much of a joke and a laugh about it, because I understand crisis is serious. But then I also realise that if you are having a mental health crisis, this podcast, Just Chatting, talk thing we do on Twitch every Monday at 8 p.m. GMT, that you can get involved with and talk to us anytime. This YouTube channel that we're developing is probably not people's first point of contact, as we're going to see, you know where to go, first point of contact. So it's okay if we talk around the subject a bit. If I do the bullet point reading and then we have a little chat, it's okay if we do that. And I keep it a bit light because it's okay to feel happy, isn't it? Well, Mental Health Monday, I keep it a bit light, a bit. We're talking about suicide, depression, all these serious things. But, we're human beings, and a little bit of humour helps us along, doesn't it? So that's the plan for today. If you are having a mental health crisis and you do think, what's this guy chuffling on about? Here is the number for the Samaritans in the UK. It's a free phone number. We're waiting for your call. They're waiting for your call. It doesn't matter if it's something that's minor, if it's just worries. It doesn't matter if it's something massive that you think you maybe couldn't tell anyone. They're anonymous people. They're not going to grass you up, or they're not going to write a report or anything like this. They're just going to listen to you and maybe talk to you about the things that are troubling you. So there's a free phone number in the UK. That same principle goes for Lifeline in America. And there's another website which every week I think to myself, I wish I'd remembered to write that one down, that Nigel recommended, that we will get up for next week, I promise. And this is the same principle though. If you're feeling at crisis point, you don't want to talk in chat, you've found this content somehow and it's making you realise that things are worse than you thought they were. It's not just suicide prevention, it's any form of, we're talking about this on stream, that any form of mental health can lead down this road. So that's why this is there. If you're in America, again, it's free. You can just call them and they'll listen. They're not going to judge you. It's possibly one of the best things you could do if you're feeling, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen if you give them some of your time? And it might make you feel better. So there's that. Knock yourself out. Don't knock yourself out. Okay, don't knock yourself. Just enjoy that. Well, don't enjoy it. You won't enjoy it. You might enjoy it. Look. Anyway, this is where we're going to jump off today. Jump off. Again, that was bad language, wasn't it? Oh, Scotty Hotty. Must be, it must be, when something's going on in your mind and you don't want to make the mistake and you say exactly the worst thing at the worst time. But that's fine, isn't it? That's what being human's about. I'm going to start here today on the strain mental health care leaves 8 million people without help, say the NHS leaders. So before we get to our ascribed broadcast, before we get to the top tips and the what we're doing, I always like to just divert, and I always like to divert. Oh, there you go, look, there's text home to 741741. Did you hear my number brain go then? Oh, it's slightly embarrassing. It's not really embarrassing. I don't mind about being a little bit embarrassed on the old internet, but when I read numbers, I go into this like robotic 74174 741 741 like that. The UK 85258. There you go. That's something to text to volunteer crisis centre in the US and Canada. So I'm guessing they're volunteers, or they're volunteers and they help you. Yeah, that's the way it is, isn't it? It's not that you're volunteering to help people, which that's also nice. So maybe that's something you might want to consider. I love getting distracted, don't I? I love getting distracted. So what I thought we would do is I'll have one more final little just distraction. This week on Mental Health Monday channel, look down there. We've got this week's Monday video is the question that we had last week in chat. Do you have tips for getting vulnerable, for getting radically comfortable with being vulnerable, which was asked by Photonic Flow. So if you want to ask any questions and you want to talk in chat and you want to say, I'm having this problem, it doesn't matter what we're talking about on Mental Health Monday, we can always just put that aside like that, just push it got the old we can just push it like that aside and we can talk about your chat. No problem. I'm just going to pull this back in now. Wait, which way do I move my hand? Like that. Okay, that's fine. We'll put it together in the edit. You can always come and talk to us in chat. That's fine. We'll put aside what I said we're going to do, and we'll just do it next week. No problem. I love the questions. This one turned into a whole little video, didn't it? A little 10-minute video about what it feels like to be vulnerable, tips for being vulnerable. And Mental Health Monday YouTube channel is going to have the edited version of what we're doing now. So all this that I'm saying, that gets cut out. All this rubbish, that gets cut out. Just the main bits about the mental health advice and some of the chat that's relevant gets left in. All the chuff gets put aside. So you've got your edited versions there, and also now little snippet videos of interesting points, the questions, they're going to be in there as well. So that's good, isn't it? That's good. I'm pleased with that. So Mental Health Monday developing as its own little YouTube channel. Happy days. I'm proud of you. It's you that this video is, I wanted to say something else as well before we got started today. Go back to this strain on the mental health system. Before I get started on the strain on the mental health system, the general concept, why have you got that advert? Can I shrink this box so you don't see the advert? Can I do that? Daddy, can you shrink the box so you remove the advert? There you go, look. Talking about mental health, that's what we're doing, isn't it, today? That's not the purpose of my YouTube channel. That's not Mental Health Monday it is, but of my broadcasting on Twitch. That's not the purpose of my existence. That's not my main thing. But we talk about the concept of talking about it. People put their little tweets out. It's good to talk. It's important to talk. Make sure you talk on this Mental Health Monday or this Mental Health Day. And, I'm celebrity so-and-so and I endorse opening up about your feelings. Sometimes they put a little twit longer. I sometimes feel bad. So do you. Now we've got a little Twitter about it. That's not really talking about it, is it? That's not dialogue and going deep and getting it off your chest. And what we're doing here is important, and you are involved. You do your chat and we talk. I do a lot of talking. I talked to Melanie Griffith this week. She's fantastic, by the way. That's a little in-joke for the speedrunners there, A little in-joke for the speedrunners. I talked to Melanie Griffith this week. She's fantastic, by the way. So I do a lot of talking, but you, whilst you get to talk in chat, and me, whilst I get to talk to you, we can also do more talking to each other in real world. This is the real world, isn't it? You're really there. I'm really here. But your closer peers, the people you can touch their faces when you're talking to, and they can say, what are you touching my face for? Those people. We should talk to those people more, I guess. And what I wanted to say that I was really proud of this week, pride's not a virtue, bear in mind, so this is bad. I'm going to get marked down for this when I get to the pearly gates. They're going to say, oh, this one's going in your bad books. Pride, not a virtue. But except when it's gay pride, it's absolutely fine then. Fabulous. They called it pride, so like the festival itself is fine, but I'm not saying anything negative on that front. But generally the concept of pride is not virtuous, apparently in the old biblical. Anyway, so I wanted to say I was proud though, because what we are doing is that talking about it. It's not just a little tweet longer. It's not just I mention it on my ASMR a lot. I realised people that were anxious were coming to the ASMR channel, so I want to help them, and I left some links, and it actually helped some people. Some people left a comment to say I saw these links to mind.org or to whatever, and it helped me, and I thought good, that was helpful. And then that's the nucleus of what we're doing here, isn't it? I said to myself, if I'm going to go start broadcasting again, I want to pick up this thing again after the difficulties with COVID, after Nan died. Doing this now, I'm going to start from home, going to do the streaming. I want to do art, I want to talk about art, games, history, that sort of stuff. I love that. And I want to make sure that we cover this mental health thing, not just in a sort of, here's a little link, here's a little tweet, we should talk about it, now here's my entertainment, click and subscribe, but in a sort of full, deep, what we're doing here, opening up, bringing people in. We're not finished with that yet. We've got people to bring in on another level. We've got interviews to start doing. We've got Zoom to buy and desk to set up. So we've got forward to push. But at the moment, I'm just really proud because when you see these tweets, when you see these things that say we should talk about, we are doing that work, and we are here. It exists. We're part of that. So I'm really proud of that. I'm really chuffed. Hello, Mean Tone. Mean T1. Mean Tone. I've seen you before. I know you. I know you. I know you. I know you. You can't get away with that round here. I know you. I know you. Nice to have you here. Nice to see you again. I'm just saying how proud I am of all the work we've done thus far, and how enthusiastic that's made me to push on to the work we're going to continue to do in the future. So Mental Health Monday, we're here, consistent. I've got that plate on the spin there. I've got that spinning plate. I'm confident that plate is spinning. I'm happy with that one. I check in every Monday. I've got my little plan, what we're going to talk about. We do the talking, bit of editing Tuesday. Got that solid. We've got that consistent, happy. The Ganji Cuts, our new channel. Going to keep shilling this all the time now. Our new channel, Ganji Cuts, because Ganji Kid looks like that, chuffers, and that's the full-length streams just chuffed on there. But Ganji Cuts is the edits from the streams. We've got that now. That's happening every week because I chuff on every week on stream, don't I? So that's consistent. That's happening. And then the next thing, the thing that we're missing to that, the thing that has to come back, that has to really be pushed now. Ooh, I'm going on the wrong way. It'll be on this one with it then. No, I lost it. I've lost it. That's a shame. No, there it is. Ganji Kid Art Chat. I want to continue every Wednesday, just like we're doing this now, every Wednesday. And I haven't picked a time of day yet. I haven't picked which time of the day it's going to be. But every Wednesday, Art Takes, Art Chat. That's going in. So we've got 3 consistent then, 3 plates spinning. And I'm happy with those 3 days. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Bit on Thursday. I'm happy with that. We've got those consistent, clear things. And then if we can add the Ganji vegan plate, if we can get that other plate spinning, if maybe we can, push on to that, maybe. Happy to do that too. But at the moment, really proud of what we've started to grow into. That's what I should say. So thanks very much. Oh look, thank you for the anonymous gifty sub. Thank you. I appreciate it. It really helps to grow the Puko Warrior crew and make the media financially viable as well. The final thing I should say about this whole shebang, this whole growth thing that we're doing is I'm kind of starting from scratch. I had an old YouTube channel, True by Norn ASMR, that's got thousands of subscribers, that's got lots of views, but I'm not trying to ride on that. I'm not trying to push it on them, and I'm trying to kind of start from scratch and do what we're doing. So I'm really proud of the growth. It looks small in some ways. There are not a lot of views on some of these videos, but that's fine. They're views, they're growth. I'm really happy with that. And the end game, like the push forward at the moment, what's sustaining this growth, what's sustaining what we're doing is the Patreon and the sub money. It's like those 2 things. Thank you for saying thank you. I really appreciate that you say thank you for the thank you. I didn't expect to be as far forward as we are now. I'm surprised by how far forward we are. I'm surprised we're an affiliate yet. I haven't got we're already an affiliate before I even got close to considering what to do with the emojis and the emoticons. we've got ideas still to cover. You know, we've got places to push to. We're going forward. Absolutely fantastic. And that's sustained by the subs and the Patreon. So that's absolutely fantastic. But the long term, the big goal is for us to build this into something that maybe a sponsor might sponsor. And then I'm so grateful and thankful, because at the moment I can't get there without the subs and the Patreon. But I also want to make it clear that long term, I'm not here to sort of grift off you. I'm not here to sort of say, oh, I'm going to be online, and the more people I get, the more money I can get, and like each sub equals. I'm not totaling it up in terms of I can end up going to Hawaii for a big holiday or whatever. I'm trying to put the money back into this, back into the equipment, setting up this room. It used to be my nan's bedroom. Now she's died, sadly, and I can use this room. So I'm going to, trying to build for the future. That's what I'm trying to do with the money. And the end game of that is to not be like I said, to not be trying to squeeze you all the time. The end game of that is to try and squeeze some big company. Is to at least, have that ability to have a sponsor that makes it sustainable. So I don't have to make, I've said it. I've said that clearly now, haven't I? I've said that clearly what the step-by-step plan is. But at the moment, and I never want you to feel like your contribution is not valuable, because your contribution to me is more important than if some big company came tomorrow and said, here's 20 grand for your videos, boom, do it. I'd still think, what you're giving me, like what they give me is easy. They've got this budget, they just chuff it around. But what you give me is more, it means more to me. It means more to me. It doesn't matter about quantities and numbers and, how much money and how, do you know what I mean? It's the act of it, what it means to me that people support this growth and do this thing. So all my thank yous out the way early on. Done that now. Done that. We'll answer questions directly. I'm quite happy to do that, and then we'll get on to Mental Health Monday Direct. If you don't mind me asking, what's your strategy to build your audience on Twitch? So there are some things I really can't sort of push along with. So I'm not really ever going to try and tickle the algorithm. I'm not going to do the Mr. Beast thing. I've thought about it. I know how to, I could do a Ludwig. I might not be the person that the mass audience is going to get behind, because they might not all agree with all of my opinions. They're not all going to be vegans for a start, are they? And some of them are going to be picky about that and then say, oh, bacon and this stuff, and then it causes a thing, and then I'm not everyone's I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I'm not Coca-Cola, and if I had to be, and that's what it meant to be successful, okay, we're not going to be that successful. Fine. So there are some things I don't push towards. My strategy, though, with that, having said that, is to try and provide, and I've written this on Patreon, actually. I've written this on my Patreon. This is my Patreon, and I should have a little... Do you know what? How do I even... I don't look at this so often. My membership community posts page, that's it, isn't it? View page. Look at those $554. I think that's fucking chuffing amazing. That chuffing amazing. View page. Where's the thing? I've got a manifesto. I think if you go to it, you should see it here. Maybe it's because I'm a creator. I'm not being shown my own manifesto thing. Okay, so I'm not going to click any more on that, because I think it's just a bit... It's worrying me that I'm looking at my page live on the internet. It's worrying me, so it's making me feel anxious looking at that. Absolutely is. But look at the Twitch bit. Do I get to keep more with Patreon? I think I get to keep more with Patreon. I do. But I also believe that, like, it's strange. I could be on YouTube. I'm going to get right back to what you were just saying in a second on get distracted, and tips equal direct attention. But I think you get to keep more on Patreon, and I could be on YouTube as well. I could be trying to push YouTube, but Twitch is the place that people are used to giving subs and gifts and tips, and it's more of a natural play. It seems to work better here. It seems to work more here. So I'm happy just to follow the lead. the manifesto, right? The manifesto is, I don't know what a Venmo is, so the manifesto, though, off the top of my head, is that I want to make content that is valuable to people. Okay, I know a lot of the stuff we do is messing around, is chuffing about, and is entertainment value. Maybe, I like having fun, but I want to make content that's of value to people. So Mental Health Monday should be valuable to people, shouldn't it? And the art history, what we learn about in art, the way we talk about art, the way we find joy in art, I hope people will find value in that. The chuffing about, the games, I find value in having fun. So there's that as well, right? So that's right. The vegan stuff, we know, talking to Snippy Snips, has encouraged people to make changes in their own lives. So that's valuable to people. I hope we can make content that has value. And also, I have to be true to my own values. Like, value is a word that's going to come up a few times here, but I have to be true to my own values in producing it. So I can't be like promoting meat companies or whatever. I've got to be careful in my message. I want to be socially productive, socially constructive. I don't want to be mean and negative. I want to be I want to put some value into the world, and it has to be true to my values, which are generally about being good and being kind, and it goes on to animal stuff, but I'm not here to be a vegan battering ram. So if I can do that, if I can just be authentic and real, and it can develop slowly, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But what you were saying about discovery on Twitch specifically, to build an audience on Twitch, it's really ironic. But what I'm actually doing is on YouTube. I'm lucky that I came to this from ASMR. I'm lucky that I had people who were already aware of me. And so when I said I'm doing something new, they were like, oh, well, look at that. So I'm lucky that I've got that. I'm really lucky to have the continued support of people who discovered me in that way. But this is the top tip for anyone on Twitch, I guess, is that Twitch doesn't have a search engine. It's not a search engine in the same way that Google is, in the same way Google and YouTube are, interconnected. YouTube is. And if you're going to go today and try to find something out, what are you going to type in? Where are you going to type it? If you want to look at how to, whatever your chosen topic is, you're going to be searching on YouTube, really, aren't you? So I'm hoping that the discovery platform is YouTube, and that this Mental Health Monday channel, as that grows, some of these ideas that I'm not trying to be clickbait, but I'm trying to make these videos interesting to people so they will click on them, and to be, as I said, valuable content, not just 20 minutes of chuff, but a full hour, or the little clip, the 5 minutes of serious content. So that's developing there, and as it develops, people will see that, and they might think about stopping in over here on the broadcast forum. But the beautiful thing about Twitch is that even if you haven't got anyone watching, you're still creating your media. So I'm thinking about this, what we're doing right now, in terms of YouTube as well, in terms of I'm going to edit this and I'm going to put it up there. So I always feel what we do is valuable. I always feel that it will have some value to someone, and there's a place for them to discover it, and hopefully it will grow from there, basically. That's what I'm doing. I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to buy followers. I'm not going to buy subscribers. I'm not going to try and do some cheesy tie-in. I'm not going to try and get my head up someone else's bum and, can you be my pretend friends, and can I go on your stream so people will look at me? I'm not going to do anything dramatic and shocking and play to the lowest common denominator. I'm just going to try and consistently make content with value. Enough about me. This is us. It's not just me. It's all of us, isn't it? This is what we're doing. I need to get onto Mental Health Monday now, because otherwise... okay, no, go on then. Do you ever find it overwhelming jumping between platforms? Yes, a little bit. I'll tell you what I don't do. I don't multi-stream. I'm a Twitch affiliate now, thank God. Thank you to Capital K, really, for making it rain that one day. But I'm a Twitch affiliate, so in the basically, you do this live on Twitch. You don't also stream it somewhere else. That's in the contract. And then afterwards, you can upload it wherever you want. So 2 platforms is enough to me. I do think about being more active on Twitter. I do think about being more active on TikTok. But TikTok's generationally just not in my ballpark. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking for social media fame. So I'm not looking to try and wring out the most views out of these mechanisms. So yeah, it is a bit overwhelming. All this Instagram is not, it's another thing I could do, whatever. Not really in there yet. If this grew as a sustainable media product, as a business in inverted commas, because obviously I pay my bills with this, don't I? So as a business, then I would look at maybe someone, if I could employ a social media person, I'd love that, because I don't really fancy doing that sort of stuff. Even though this is social media. So yeah, it is overwhelming jumping between platforms. And I do want to start a stream on YouTube. I want to make sure I've got a foothold there. Even though the content's there, I want to make sure there's a stream foothold there. Probably on Ganji Kid, unedited, once a week on YouTube, because I want to see how things develop for that. But as a streaming platform, it seems like Twitch is the place. And as a content legacy holding page, somewhere everyone can access the work, YouTube is the place, isn't it, really? It's just simple at the moment. That's the way. So I want as many people to get it for free as possible. It's on YouTube, and I hope that some of those people find enough value in it at this stage to support the growth. And that means either subscribing or subscribing to the Patreon, or tippies, chippies, or of course sharing the work and encouraging the growth. So yeah, it is a bit overwhelming. It's a lot of hard work. I do this, then at the end of it I have to upload it, and then I have to edit it, and then I have to upload that, and then I have to make a plan for the next stream, and the cycle continues. Thanks for your motivating emoticons and support. Yeah, I really appreciate it, as I've been saying. So enough of this. It's like an Oscar speech. It's gone on that long, but it was important for me to make a note of that. I don't want to leave it to the end. I wanted to make a note of that this week, about how far we've come and how thankful I am. Bit of gratitude there for you. So this is something I'm not grateful for. We've got it. I'll push now. I'll push for this mental health focused content. I'll push for that now. Okay. And then I'll look forward to the day I'm going through the anxiety of selecting a computer and actually having to spend the money on it. I look forward to that day. Yeah. That goes with all the production. I see that as a production tool. So that goes with that. And once we've got the room set up nicely, I will know that we can grace it. I'm not going to bring a nice new computer into this dirty hovel of a room yet. It wasn't dirty hovel when Nan was in it. It was nice when Nan was in it, but now she's gone, all the junk started to collect. So I need to. The moving of the boxes. That's another story for another day. Mental health, please. Mental health, please. Right. The uploads do take a long time, yes. The strain on mental health. Right. Look, I'm not laughing about this one because it's serious. Did you find the smell? Yeah, do you know what? I can't leave that unaddressed, can I? That comment. Just like I couldn't leave the smell. The smell was the actual rug, like mat carpet by the door. It was the dog, but the dog had got it all up his neck and he'd rubbed it all. It smelled like someone had taken It smelled like someone had filled a fish with poo and left it on my doorstep. And that's where it was around. Yeah, it was definitely the dog, and the dog had rubbed it around. Carpets have to be cleaned. It wasn't Nan. It wasn't. So look, let's go with the potato. No, it was definitely the dog. Look, the strain on the mental health care system, and this is something I wanted to raise before we get into what we're finishing off from last week, which is crisis point, how to help. So if you stuck around through all that chuff, thanks very much. We're into the good bit now. An estimated 8 million people in England with mental health problems cannot get specialist help because they're not considered sick enough to qualify, NHS leaders have revealed as the toll of the pandemic is laid bare. So they're contextualising this with the COVID. They're contextualising it with the COVID pandemic. Before the COVID pandemic, there was a backlog on the mental health service. Before the COVID pandemic, there was not enough care being provided for the mental. It's not just the COVID, but in addition to the official waiting list, which stands at 1.6 million people. 1.6 million people are on the waiting list, including 374,000 under 18s. In addition, you've got these 8 million people who can't even get on the list because the doctors say, well, come back when it's worse. That seems bad, doesn't it? That doesn't seem like a principle that a doctor should have to say to someone, come back when it's worse, does it? That doesn't sound right. We're trying to make sure it doesn't get worse. For those 8 million people, we're trying to be something here, a resource that they can tap into. The problem, though, and this is really difficult to discuss, but I need to make sure I discuss this properly. The problem here is that I don't want you to feel that if you've got a mental health issue, if you're not, like I said, I'm not the doctor who's saying come back when it's worse. I'm the one saying get help now. Go to we're going to see in a minute the access points to the mental health services, certainly in the UK. I'm not going to be able to do it for every country in the world, but access your local mental health services, do it now. And I'll tell you why. Don't feel bad because there's 1.6 million people on the waiting list. Don't think, oh, they all need it more than me. I don't want to put someone else out and someone else can have that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not fair on yourself. You've got not just equal right to access this, but you're equally valuable to us as society. You're equally valuable. Trust me. So don't think, oh no, I'm going to bad on this. Don't let that number put you off, because I know how it feels. I know that's going to feel like it's going to put you off. Don't let that happen. But become part of that number. Get yourself on that waiting list. Get to your doctor and say, please, can we engage with the mental health services? I might not be at crisis point now, but I feel like I'm going to get there if we don't do something at some stage. Get down and say that. Even if you're not sure, get and say that, because you want to be on that waiting list, because if it does get to crisis point, you want to be on that list so that you can get in there as quick as possible, don't you? If it's going to take a long time to access the help, think forward is a good little tip here. So maybe the theme of today a little bit. Maybe the theme of today, because thinking, that's what we'll be talking about with the new branding, wasn't it? I'll just quickly show that again. That's the that's the theme of the new branding, wasn't it? What I'm saying is, moving forward, we want the government to move forward with this. We want the services that are provided to move forward and take up this slack, but we also want you to move forward in your life. We want to give you the resources, so don't be afraid of being on that list. I think if you get on that list, if there's more people on that list, not only thinking forward will you be able to have a plan in place to deal with these things as they may come up, but also the government will see it's not just these 8 million that are on the waiting list that they can't get on. It's not just the 1.6 that are already on the waiting list. It's another. You've got to come forward and become part of this number, because the bigger the number, the more pressure on the government to do something about it, to not just sweep it under the carpet. And I actually think that it's crying shame that these 8 million people are not considered sick enough to qualify. And the reason for that is because we don't have the facility for that grey area. You're either really sick, okay, we've got something we can do for you, lock them up in that. I'm joking, okay, I'm joking. Don't feel they're going to lock you up. We've got something to do for you if it gets really serious, because we have to. We've got crisis point, we've got crisis point in a way. Not really, not the best we could, but we've got something for that because we have to. But if you're not going to, if you're just going to be quiet on your own at home, then, last on the list, last squeaky wheel's not getting the grease, or you know what I mean. So it's important that we come forward, get on that list. Hi, who wrote this article? Hi there, the 187 Fish. I'll tell you what, 187 Lockdown is one of my favourite tunes. 187 Lockdown. This is Dennis Campbell, the health policy editor of The Guardian. So it is left wing, but then so am I. You can't be mean, you want to share. This is Dennis Campbell, the health policy editor today, and it's today, Sunday, or yesterday, 29th of August. And it gives us our jumping off point for Mental Health Monday. So we need to be vocal about it. We're doing this conversation about mental health, but we need to be vocal about we need more support. There's charities, there's organisations that are picking up some of the slack, but there's 8 million people who aren't even on the list, so aren't even getting listened to when it's talking about the figures, when it's how much money do we need for this, when it's what support do we need to put there. They're not even on the list. They're not even getting, officially factored in. You got a lovely sub, didn't you? You got a lovely sub. You asked a little question, got a lovely sub. Aren't you lucky? You're the lucky one. That could be luck. That could be good luck. Thank you for the gifted sub. Uh, yeah, that's the jumping off point. And what I wanted to make clear, if I've not made it clear with all my yambling, is that the more pressure we create as a society to fix this, the better. And if you're in this system, if you feel you should be in this system, don't be put off by the numbers. Just get yourself signed up. It might take a bit of time, and in that time, things might get a bit worse before they get better. Maybe we can help you. Maybe we can help you make them better. But until you get into this, talking cure, until you get into this, certainly you might engage with the NHS, and they might give you something to help you sleep better, something like that, maybe some medication. Until you get into this, it's going to be hard. It's going to be you, us, the internet, what you can do. So there are some fantastic resources. What do you call it? IAPT, they call it, access to mental. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. I've got a leaflet about it somewhere. The cognitive behavioural therapy available on the NHS is fantastic, but there's a bit of a waiting list. It takes a bit of time to get into the room with them. So get it on there now. Get it sorted now. Have a chat to your doctor about it now. Got that said. Got that sorted. That's our jumping off point. 8 million people, not even on the list. But they feel they should be, because otherwise they wouldn't have come forward, would they? So 8 million people there. And this is what we were looking at last week, and this is how we're going to push on with it. Last week, we were looking at techniques that may help de-escalate a crisis. We didn't quite get to that, did we? We looked at what it's like what a mental health crisis is and how to recognise it in yourself and others. That's what we looked at, as brought to us by Jacqueline Bienstock from the Carriers Clinic webinar series. And we're going to finish that, which was a really good article. We're going to finish that quickly with techniques to de-escalate a crisis. Number one. I'm not going to do numbers. Why did I do that? Numbers. Nobody needs numbers. We don't need numbers. You've got numbers, 187 Fish. You're all right. You can keep your numbers. Yeah, I like your numbers. That was one of my favourite songs. So, numbers are important sometimes, aren't they? Numbers. Good old numbers. Always got your numbers. There's always numbers. We just got bullet points. So, techniques that may help de-escalate a crisis. Keep these important techniques in mind in the event of a crisis. Remember that you're there to listen, be supportive, and get the person the help they need. Do your best to remain calm and let them know that you're there for them and that they're not being judged. I'll repeat that because I think I scuffed it a bit. Do your best to remain calm and let them know that you're there for them and they're not being judged. I like that. That's a really nice, clear, direct statement, isn't it? If it's you, this is the other prism I wanted to look at this from. If it's you that's having this crisis, you might not be thinking about the techniques you could employ to de-escalate it. But remember that people around you might be trying to help. They might be trying to be supportive. You might not think it at the time. Certainly when you're having a crisis, the people that seem to come forward might not seem to be the ones that you want to have. We looked last week about how the police have to get involved at the serious end of some of these things. But they're doing their best to try and be supportive, some of them. The fact they've come forward to help you if you're in this crisis, maybe just remember that we've said this. Remember that they said this one day when you're feeling particularly on edge. Remember we've said this, because whoever comes forward might get the rough end of your tongue, but they might be trying to help. And if it's you that's going through this, then these important techniques are worth keeping in mind. And this is what we're going to talk about today as well, is making a plan. I'll just quickly show you that. Quickly, making a plan, look. Making a plan. So this is going to help us to learn how to make our plan. Keep your voice calm. That goes without saying, doesn't it? It doesn't though, does it? Keep your voice calm. When someone else is kicking off, when someone else is getting, excited. Sorry, I will go on to keep your voice calm in just a second. I will address your concerns right now. If I'm honest, I feel the article is fear-mongering. All the publishers in my country are doing the same right now, same stories and articles. There is definitely a political aspect to any kind of journalism these days. I mean, it's hard to find really impartial journalism, and one of the problems with the political, we talked briefly last week about how arguments don't help, about how if Mr. Left Wing and Mr. Right Wing, Mrs. Right Wing, trying to be equal, if they have an argument, they're not coming together to try and change each other's minds, and one of them's not going to say, oh, you know what, you were really smart. You know what he said. Donald Trump's not going to convince Joe Biden to become a Republican, is he? And Joe Biden's not going to convince Donald Trump to stop being Donald Trump and become a Democrat. That's not going to happen. I'm assuming, sorry, 187 Fish, I'm assuming you're American like everybody else apart from Nigel. But you understand what I'm saying. People don't really engage with arguments that way, do they? And I appreciate that these articles, if you've got a political perspective, The Guardian's more left-wing. So they are going to be persuasive of a political perception. Yeah, I get that. And I also get that the things I like to read and I agree with more are the things that I have settled on in my own psychology, in my own philosophy, I think, you know, are worth bringing up, because I think, oh, that makes, you know, to me it appeals, doesn't it? And like you say, to some people it might appear to be something different. So I absolutely agree with that. I think we should be careful about the media. I think we should be careful about being able to disseminate, is that the right word, disseminate? To take apart what's facts and what's being sort of put forward to make you feel something, like you say, and for what reasons they're doing that and why. So let's do that a bit here. The facts in this case are, and I don't know, to be fair, this is put in writing, 8 million people with mental health problems, and I'm taking it like it's a fact. I'm assuming that they've done some journalism, because this is one of the mainstream UK media outlets, and there's a little hyperlink there. I'll just click it. Oh no, it's just England, sorry. Sorry, and you're right, I didn't read through this, you know, in depth to find the source of that. But NHS providers say the amount spent on mental health. I did read some of this earlier. I mean, I read it to see that it was a reasonable article, to be fair. I read it and assumed that. Oh yeah, look, it says straight up, the figure drawn up by mental health trusts and NHS providers. So it does say where they got it. So the facts that we can absolutely take from this are the 1.6 million people on a waiting list and the 8 million people who cannot get help because they're not sick enough, according to the NHS themselves. So are you in New Zealand? Oh, do you know what? I would love to be in New Zealand. I would have loved to be in New Zealand. I think you've done a really good job with COVID. Hold on now while things get tough. Appreciate the good job that you've been doing. You don't have to take it from me. I mean, you could think what you want. But over here, it's been chuffing rough. And I have, all the way along, I've thought, why don't we take hold of this situation? You know, why don't we take hold of this situation? Why are we allowing this virus to just marauder around? Why don't we close the borders, and why don't we be a bit more responsible? It's difficult for some reasons. The lockdowns are hard, but ultimately they save lives. So I'm really, I've been really envious of the way you know, New Zealanders and Australia, you know, you say stuck in Australia, it can't go home, but the fact that they've done the similar thing in Australia, it might not be good for you that you can't go home, but the benefit is that the people that you love are less likely to be dead. And take it from me, because I've lost 2 people that I love directly to COVID who didn't have to be dead if all the people didn't go around spreading it around. We're not going over that over and over again. But yeah, lovely New Zealand. And interesting that you brought up this point. So we vetted this now. It's from a left-wing publication. And yes, the reason that they're raising these things is to pressure the government. In terms of fear-mongering, it may sell more articles to make you, the reader, scared. I wonder whether it benefits them at The Guardian as much as it does other media outlets, because The Guardian are selling themselves or attempting to project themselves as intellectual, thinking, well-researched, potentially left-wing, but left-wing for the reason that they go into the statistics and, you know, find they bring up science articles, you know, scientific process, I guess. I arts as well. Arts are very important in The Guardian. So they're things that I identify with, I guess. Capital K's back. We'll get off this cultural nonsense and start talking about something a lot more chuffing relevant in a minute. But no, I think it's an important chat that we're having. So yeah, I appreciate what you said. I don't feel that it makes me scared that much. I don't know if it's a fear mongering. It as more as in terms of political, what they're trying to do, the lever that they're trying to lever here. It's pressure on the government to say the government aren't good enough and they're failing us as a society, because they'd rather have a left-wing government. So I agree with that anyway. But it's important to be critical of the news media and to consider things, to take out the facts that you can pull out, and then consider them yourself, to look at the other sides of the argument, to look at why we're being presented with these facts in the first place, to look at if something else could get through the newsgate. Is there something else important that's happening today that we're not looking at because this is being pushed to the fore? To look at these mechanisms and to take them into consideration, but also, this is Mental Health Monday, and if The Guardian are going to print something about mental health, and I can use it, as a little stepping off point, then that's free media for me, isn't it? That's free. They've done the work there. They've done the work of researching it. I've just done the sort of intermediary part of reading it out loud. That constitutes work at my end. And then you've done the listening. We've all benefited from their hard work. So it's free real estate. Oh yeah, I will endeavour to use other forms of media as well. I will endeavour to try and bring in a more wide-ranging media source, I guess. Yeah, thanks for bringing that to my attention. And I will also not always use the news. Do you know what, as well, though? The news comes up, doesn't it? Happens every day. Something else to say. So if I start Mental Health Monday with a little news jump-off point, it gives us a sort of current theme, a running topic that we're keeping up with. I've 100% done that. A running theme that we're keeping up with, an evolving story that we can keep looking at the news prism, through the news prism at mental health, and then saying what we think as well every week. And what we think is, chuffing, come on, put some more money their way. Let's have a proper social care service for mental health. Let's not have the police picking up the hard work at the end. Let's not have the people nowhere to go slipping down the slope. Let's not have, we could have a more wholesome society that doesn't lead to mental health problems. People could have more money in their pocket and all that sort of stuff without getting too political. But I'm glad you quit the job in a bit. But great artist still. Yeah, that's true. Great artist still. I'm the Warhol of mental health conversation on YouTube. But the point, we're all here now. It's all kicking off now. The news is happening. We're looking at it. We're saying what we think, and what we think, is that more should be done. And so I can't do a lot. I've given my tax money's, I don't make a lot of money, but whatever I have to give in tax, I declare everything. I don't pretend it's secretly on PayPal or anything like that. I declare everything to the old tax people, and they do what they want with it. So, and all the money I spend gets taxed, doesn't it? Every time I fill my car up with horrible petrol, that's taxed. So all that money goes into bombs instead of making the world better. So I wish they'd just spend it, some more of it, throw it this way. And if they don't, I'm going to do what I can. We're doing what we can to reach out some hands across the internet, to give some people some actionable tips, some real tools on how to deal with these things, and for them to know that they can come here every week and we're here. We're in this together. We're all in this together. We are as well. Even if even if we don't want to be, even if you don't agree with politically, even if you don't have the same political alignment, that's why Stockton keeps trying. It's needed. 6 o'clock news on Monday should be like this. Yeah, you shouldn't just take what they say and just accept that. Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Every time as well. It doesn't matter who's presenting it to you. The first thing you should think is, what are they trying to, not what are they putting in this article, but what do they want? You know, why are they presenting this article to me? That's the most important question. And because realise, I can't believe I keep going on a tangent, but realising that they can't give you everything, that I can't see every news article today. So somebody's going to filter that, and their filter is what's going to set my agenda. So realising that I have to start pulling apart the filter and saying, okay, now I need to look at it through someone else's filter, and I need to see if these filters line up, and I need to see if there's anything of value outside the filter. And I haven't got the time to do that all the time, but when things are important, I at least need to remember that and check it. Yeah, absolutely. And the more bombs they drop, the more they end up having to spend on mental health. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I agree with all this stuff. And the news is a good jumping off point. I'm getting distracted. But what we're doing here is making actionable media that people can use. It's not our raison d'etre. We also do other stuff. But this week, it's all got out of hand. So look, we didn't even get to their techniques. Should we do the techniques? So at least get the techniques done, eh? If you're trying to help someone. Because I keep saying we do it, and we haven't done it. Right, keep your voice calm. I've already blown that. Avoid overreacting. Hard to. What is an overreaction? Oh, hang on. Let's pull this back in. Have a bit of tea. For the next hour, I'm going to get some of these bullet points done. I will tell you how to make a plan. I'm chuffing gonna. Pull this back in. Techniques that may help de-escalate a crisis. For the edit. Avoid overreacting. Easier said than done, especially if someone's kicking off. I say kicking off a lot. It's colloquial terminology. If you're having a bit of a breakdown, if things are getting messy, you know, if you're trying to help the person that's doing that, let's not turn it into a big extra super kick-off. Let's not turn it into a big thing. Let's try to avoid any sort of excessive reaction. I'm not going to say overreacting, because your reaction is quite... I believe we should always feel that our responses and our reactions should at least be respected. Maybe they are excessive at times. Maybe we are a bit paranoid or a bit anxious. Maybe we are going a bit too far with our thoughts. But at least the nucleus of that, how I feel, should be respected. So your reaction is natural. That's fine. But let's try and pull it in, like I just did a second ago. Let's try and pull it in and do our best for the person that we're dealing with to not increase, to not fuel the fire and react badly. Maybe we just pull extra. I've got to not get distracted. Look, I've got to not listen to the person. I'm the only person on the internet. Oh, do we lose some kilobytes then? You chuffer. We're not having kilobyte issues. You get back up there. You kilobytes. I'm not messing. Go on. I'm the only person who is discouraging their chat now. You shut up so I can get this done. The kilobytes are even wobbling. I worry. I worry that we're not going to get this done. So now I'm going to do it. Let's just go. Listen to the person. Clear, obvious. Listen to the person. They might be making broken sense, not much sense. Things might be difficult to hear, but listen to the person. Express support and concern. You be good now. Express support and concern. That's, in the face of what we've been talking about, seems obvious, but it's not, is it? Say, I'm here to support you. I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you is a good one, because when people are worried themselves, when they're anxious that people might be trying to hold me down or lock me up, or, you know, when you're at crisis point and you're worried the people that are there to try and help are actually there to harm you, expressing your concern, expressing that you want to support them is important. They might not believe it, but if you can explain why you're worried, then it might help them to believe it. Because people who are faking it, they say, I'm here to help you, I'm here to help you. They don't say, the reason I'm here is because what you're doing makes me worry for your safety and your health. I want to make sure that nothing bad happens to you. You know, these sort of things have an extra depth, don't they? Have an extra meaning that's important to express. Avoid continuous eye contact. I like to look down the camera straight at you, but it says here, I have to avoid it because I have to read what it says, but avoid continuous eye contact. I was surprised by that. I'd have thought looking into people's eyes when you're talking to them is a good thing, but it's also primarily provocative, isn't it? And if someone's in a really fragmented state, if someone's really finding things difficult, it might not be it's quite mentally draining to have to maintain eye-to-eye, one-to-one, confrontational body language. So it might be good just to, let's turn the gas fire on. Again, I'm full of these things today. Don't mess with the gas. Leave the gas alone. Leave the gas alone if you're at crisis point. If you, let's just, flick on the telly. We'll have that on. We're not watching it, but we just let our eyes watch that while we talk about this. Or let's have, I suggested the gas fire, because if you sit around a campfire or something like that, something that you can just, let's watch the fish. Let's go to the park and feed the ducks. Let's just look, something else that you can focus on while you have this chat can be really helpful. And it can also, I'm going to throw in my own one here. If someone is having a crisis and it's escalating, that little suggestion I made then was another good one, is to take someone out of that, to suggest to them, maybe we could go somewhere else, somewhere a bit more calm, somewhere a bit more comfortable, somewhere this isn't all happening at once and we can protect you. Maybe we can do that. That's another one that I'm going to put in there. And I'm going to repeat one from last week as well that I think is really important. But they'll probably come up. But what I was going to say from last week that was really important. Bring someone else in. Make sure that you don't do this on your own. If you can. Obviously, people don't want to say, bring everyone in, tell everyone. But I think it's important that you say to them, rather than we're going to keep this a secret, just you and me, or don't bring anyone else in, rather than that, say, I need help with this. Is it okay if we speak to, and then, someone else they trust, a friend you both have, maybe, a loved one, a relative, someone you can both trust, and you suggest that you can bring in not everyone, but just another person. And don't say you need extra help. I need to make sure that it's about, can I, this time it might be a bit of an I need a bit of help with this. Can we bring in someone else? Because it's hard for you to do everything on your own. You can't be with someone 24/7. This is important. So I'm going to throw that one in as a bullet point. A blind man can't judge. He's forced to get to know you through language. That's a very sage. That's a very sage piece of comment, isn't it? You don't get comments like that in other people's chat. I tell you, you don't get comments. I watch Asmongold, and you don't get comments like that in Asmongold's chat. Very learned, very sage. I like that. Very sage. Not sage in the memey sense of sad, but sage as in wisdom. Ask how you can help. That's a really good one as well, isn't it? Ask how you can help. Ask. Don't be in there pushing your weight around, saying, "Okay, I'm dragging you down the park now to feed the ducks because Scotty Hottie said so. Can I help? Is there something I can do? Is there some way I can make your life better? What can I do to help you calm down, maybe? Can we go and feed the ducks?" Ask. Yeah, that's good. Move slowly. It seems silly again, some of these, you're not approaching a frightened pigeon or a tiger. Move slowly. You're not creeping in the jungle. But when someone is at crisis point, their head is already full of movement mentally. A bit of I don't want to say a mess. I don't want to describe it. A mess is a good terminology. A friend of ours, messy, is... that's a good terminology. A friend of ours used it to sort of visualize for people, so other people could visualize how mental health made them feel. And I thought that was a good visual. Messy. It can be messy. So if you're in there being messy, I've got my top on today. My cats haven't. I've got on today. Cats. I have more, wild clothing. If you're in there with your wild clothing, throwing your arms around, and the person you're trying to help is feeding off that energy, then it's potentially going to make things worse. So it seems silly to say it, but being calm yourself is something that you practice. I had to say it earlier. Bring it in. Calm down. It's something you have to work on. If you're working with people, you might have to do this. And in yourself, if you can project that, it can help them to be calm. So if you're moving slowly and carefully and calmly, they're going to feel less threatened. They're going to feel more calm themselves. Good one. Offer options instead of trying to take control. Again, that's ask how you can help. I suggested it at the time. Can we take you to the park as well? So offer options instead of trying to take control. I think I don't have to expand on that. Be patient. Be the patient. Choose life. Choose an effing big television. Be the patient. Be patient. Be patient. Yeah. Take your time. Be patient. If someone is at crisis point, they're not going to flick a switch and become fixed overnight. There might be some tears. There might be some time. There might be another flare up. Excuse me. There might be a repercussion from drinking so much tea. Be patient. Things are going to take time. I did want to do these from the point of view as if this was you as well, so I'll do that after I've gone through them, but because that counts for you as well. If this is you and you're having trouble, be patient with yourself. Avoid touching the person unless you ask permission. Avoid touching the person unless you ask permission. I think that's okay. I do naturally want to put a helping hand on someone's shoulder. I do naturally feel that sometimes, used in the correct way, human contact, rather than escalating and making someone say, "Oh, get your hands off me," sometimes it can help. But I've been in a situation where I've been amped up and agitated, and someone has tried to calm me down with physical contact, and it's made me feel more agitated. I'm sure you've had that too. Get your hand off me. I'm not ready to calm down. So I can see why avoiding touching unless you ask permission is important. I'll tell you something else as well. Yeah, it could be misinterpreted. I'll tell you something else. If you're trying to help someone and they are in crisis and messy, if things are going left, right and centre in their head, they're not sure of people's motives, your innocent offer of help, your innocent contact might be misconstrued, or it might even backfire and people might accuse you of things. So I've been in situations, I used to be a sports coach, so I used to deal with a class of kids, and I've been in situations where I know that there are lines where you just think, look, I sort of want to give you a hug here, but I'm not going to cross this line because it's inappropriate, sort of thing. So I don't, and you don't ever, you don't want people to come back and say, "Oh, did you hear about so and so who's hugging the kids?" If you, if you realise, unless you ask permission in this context, if you're friends and you're talking, of course, ask permission. It's all right to give you a hug, that sort of thing's fine. But if you're just dealing with crisis point people, don't put yourself in the position where things could backfire on you. Is the clear way to say that. Make sure that you maintain that. But also, it is okay to give someone a hug, and it is okay to ask them if you can give them a hug, or even not just a full hug. Is it okay if I just give you a little, arm on the shoulder? You can do that. You can do that. It's okay. And like I said at the start, I naturally want to do it because I know it is comforting for some people. For many people, it's a human thing, isn't it? Gently announce actions before initiating them. I'm going to make us some tea. I'm just going to open the cupboard to see if I can find us some cups. Is this the sugar bottom? Just going to get the spoons out. I know it sounds silly, narrating every action, but again, I can't keep saying if someone's at crisis point. When people are sliding, when they're breaking down, and anything could be a kick-off, couldn't it? What are you doing in my cupboards? Anything could kick off, and you don't know what is going to make someone feel. It might be as simple as just looking for the spoons, but you might be innocent, and they might feel that you're going through their stuff. They might feel worse because of it. You don't know what people are feeling, so just announce what you're going to do if you're going to do something, and they can tell you, "I don't want you going in that drawer. I don't want tea." Fine. You don't have to have the problem that you might have accidentally had if you didn't tell people what you were going to do before you do it, specifically in a crisis. Give them space. Don't make them feel trapped. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that. Psychologically, your body language is huge, isn't it? Your body language is huge. Used to be a hairdresser, so nobody knows this, but one huge aspect of my job was that I went to university and studied social psychology and learned how to make people feel comfortable, because I realised that they were I used to hate having my hair cut. I felt really uncomfortable and embarrassed. So I knew that feeling, and I knew when people were coming in, they felt that. So I wanted to make sure I knew how to make that go away. So I read some books, I did some learning, I watched some videos on YouTube, put it all together, and became better at exactly that. And a lot of it was body language. We had a little setup in the salon. We had 2 chairs, and a lot of the time someone could spin their chair around and we'd sort of be all talking and working, and that sort of thing would be happening. And we wouldn't be, when you're looking at someone in the mirror, stood over the top of them like that, head on, you're straight down. It's like we talked about earlier, eye contact, confrontational. We wouldn't want to be all confrontational with our clients. So quite a lot of the time I'd spin the chair around if I'm talking to you for a bit, and side on. There's a triangle. I don't know if I can show you. I don't know if I could show you. There's a triangle. I'm not trying to do the Illuminati or anything like that. There's a triangle where doesn't matter if there's 2 of you, you put something in the middle of the triangle to make the third thing, like a plant pot or something, and you sit down. Don't sit face to face, square on like I'm doing now, square on with you. Don't do that. I always do it when I'm talking to you here, don't I? I'm actually sideways on here, slight an angle. We've got the triangle here between the screen, you and me. That's what our little triangle is. If you do 3 people, it's even better because it's easy to do. It's natural to do in a little triangle. If you're sitting at a dinner table, the person opposite you is at a confrontation point. The person directly next to you is not actually at a conversation point. You'd be surprised. You think they're right next to someone, so they're going to talk a lot. But it's not natural to crane your head to the side to talk like that. The people that are at conversation point, or at communication point, are on the diagonals. So if you're on a big dinner table and you want to chat to somebody and you fancy them and you want to chat them up, or you think they're really interesting and you wanted to hear about what they've been doing with their writing, don't sit directly opposite them. They're going to feel in confrontation. It might even lead to more confrontational conversation. Don't sit right next to them because they're going to kind of ignore you, even though they're right next to you. The best thing you can do is to sit diagonally onto them, and then they're going to naturally, while they're eating and talking, just sort of look up to the diagonal where it's more comfortable and converse with you. That's the conversation points. How long am I on for? Breakfast time here. Oh, I love being on the internet and it being around the world. Isn't that amazing? The most people who watch me early in the mornings. It's the same in America. They're up earlier than me and they watch me early. I don't go. 8 p.m. GMT here. I'm on till 10 o'clock when the dog needs his walk. Otherwise, he'll pop. So I'm on 2 hours Mental Health Monday, every Monday. And then the other times that I stream are they're erratic, but obviously based on the UK hours. So most people, I stay up all night. I'm up till 4 in the morning editing, and everyone else is in their day-to-day lives. And then in the daytime, when I'm streaming, everyone's getting up early morning. I'm a night owl person. I'm talking to all the morning people. It's magic, isn't it? But it's always on the internet. It's always available there, so you can always catch it there. Ganji Kid, you find. We talked about it enough. I'm not going to shill those channels again. They're all there. We'll shill them again another time. Enjoy your breakfast. Look, I can't remember what I was just saying there now. What was I going to say? Giving people space. Don't make them feel trapped. I was on a little roll there, wasn't I? And literally, it's blowing it out of my brain. Having a little sip of tea. I'll see it in the edit and I'll be like, I want to finish that point now. Giving them space, don't make them feel trapped. That's a good one though, yeah. Giving people space. They're going to feel worried, aren't they? They're going to feel trapped. Anxious about dinner parties. Oh yeah, that was it, wasn't it? There you go. See, thank you for having. I'm always grateful. No, I say it so much, but it's not just. It is important to be the tips and the financial side. Of course, that's important. I'm not going to fake that and pretend it's not. But I'm grateful for this other aspect. If I was just doing a video or I was just recording it, like this to me is like a live recording session as well as a stream, so if I was just recording as I used to on my own, I wouldn't have all this richness, and I wouldn't remember what I was saying. The triangle, yeah. So those conversation points, that's what I was saying. I think I said it, didn't I? Yeah, but it's also good for, that's okay, yeah, now I can bring it back to what we were saying, giving people space. So if you're going to try and deal with someone and you're going to be, social distance. Nicki Minaj. I don't know about her. I don't follow her work enough to know enough about her. I know a bit about her. I've seen her pictures on the internet. Shocking for me, for prudish me. That's shocking. But the personal space thing, that's going to be an issue now, isn't it? So you're obviously not going to crowd someone if you try to help them, because they're going to get even more anxious because of the COVID. But if you sit side by side, not side by side, but create that little triangle, that helps them to feel that there is space, because there is an escape route. Here's another good tip. Don't lock your door in. Don't close. You might think this is a really personal conversation. Let's close the door. But as they've just said there, give them space, don't make them feel trapped. If someone's having these difficulties, closing the door might make them feel worse. And also, and this is Scott's top tips, in terms of personal safety for you, the person that's helping someone, not just that you're locked in, but I always, I got taught this by a teacher way back, and he said, because I had to go and see the teacher quite often, didn't I? I was naughty, so I was like there at lunchtime. He's like, come in. Came in, he's like, prop the door open with a chair, please. So, all right, prop the door open with a chair. Come and sat down, get your telling off, got my telling off. And the reason he told me, he was a really interesting fella, Mr. Rennie. He told me that the reason you prop the door open with the chair is because I can't accuse him now of anything, can I? I can't say, so up in court, let's go through it. What did he do? Well, the first thing he did is he made me prop the door open with a chair. Does he do that with everyone? Yeah. And can everyone testify to that? Yeah. The first thing he always does is make us prop the door open with a chair. And so what kind of person is going to then, from that, start doing dodgy, bad things to you? Not likely, is it? They've created an escape route for you. They've made it clear that you can escape. They've made it clear that people can come in anytime. This is not a private session. I'm not trying to lock you in. Don't be worried. Doors open. So if you maintain that, then, and this is like covering your ass a little bit, isn't it? But no one's going to then turn around and say, oh, so and so locked me in and was doing funny things, and make accusations against you. And I'm in no way saying that people with mental health problems throw around accusations. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that it's a dangerous world, and you want to make sure that you're safe, especially when you're dealing with people who are feeling unsafe themselves. Make sure that everything's safe. Good chat. Don't make them feel trapped. That's a good one, though. And if they then say, oh, can we close the door? I don't want to shout this to the whole world. Fine. Fine. If they feel like doing that, fine. You might say, can we not? Can we just go somewhere a bit more quiet, maybe like the park, where no one can really hear us, but you can still talk privately? That might be a good idea. Don't know. I keep suggesting the park. I go out in the woods, but maybe don't go out in the woods. Don't make judgmental comments. Goes without saying, doesn't it? But does it? I don't know. We keep saying all the other ones. Let's try not to judge. Let's try not to fix their problems for them. Let's try not to tell them what's right and what's wrong. Let's try to just accept what they're saying and help them to experience it, to feel it, and to move through it. Let's not judge. Let's not, and it sounds silly to say, let's not try and help. What? No, don't give them the route. Don't say, look, you're having a mental health crisis. You do X, Y, Z, and it will be fixed. Come on, drag you down there. You're doing it now because this is what we need to do. They need to work through these things in their own time. They need to process feelings and emotions. So, let's not be too judgmental, and let's not make judgments about them and their feelings that they need to work through themselves. That's a good one. And we're kicking off with the Doja Cat now. I know Doja Cat's a rapper, and I tell you what, I love the name so much that I'm inspired to listen to their music one day. So one day I may. I should be up on all the rap because I do a bit of it. But I should be up on it, shouldn't I? Don't argue or try to reason with the person. That's what we just said as well. It's not about how you can fix this in your brain with your logic. They're going through a crisis. They need to just feel calm. They need ice cream, vegan ice cream, nice food. They need sustenance. They need to feel safe. They need to be able to process these problems and allow them to pass, to build actionable working practices that's going to help them to move through this. They need to be able to find their path. It might be they need medication. It might be they need something to help them get through these difficult days. It might be they need serious mental attack. It might be it might actually that they need a doctor to what do they call it, to section you. That it sounds so serious, to be put into a mental health institution for your own good. It might be the case though. That might be the case. I shouldn't dance. You've written that and I've said it now. I shouldn't lie over that and just say, we're not going to deal with the really serious stuff, pretend it doesn't happen. Yeah, sometimes people's breakdowns get to the point where it's beyond me. We need the serious professionals to deal with this because it's a danger to themselves and society. So sometimes that possibly. But arguing about it, reasoning about it, my logic is not going to fix your problem. We need to help you to deal with your problem. That's what we need to do to help. Avoid quoting scripture if it's not their ideology. Oh God, yeah. Religion just doesn't. If they bring it up, it's a really helpful. I don't want to use the word crutch, but tool. I'm not very good at saying the word tool. There's some words I just don't say very well. Tool, but religion can help a lot of people, but it can also be difficult, and it's not something that, unless somebody else wants to talk about their own experience. Again, exactly right there, Snippy Snips. It's not your opportunity. Helping someone is not your opportunity, full stop. Whether it be to push a religion, whether it be to grow your stream, like me. Helping someone is not your opportunity. That's not what we're doing it for. If that's why you're in that, if you're, if any, God forbid, someone should listen to this and be thinking, how can I make a buck off someone, mental health wise? If that's what, just forget it now. Just do something else, because you need to work on some stuff before. We're not helping people as an opportunity. We're helping it as an opportunity for them to get the help. That's the main thing. That was really good. I'm glad we got through those. They felt a bit more serious and impactful than I thought they would. I'm going to finish this because this doesn't go down very far now. Oh, it does. It goes. Oh God, it goes ages. Not that long. We'll finish this. And you know what? We might not even get to the plan. We might have to do the plan next week. We've done such a lot of talking, and I feel like it's going well and it's a good pace. I don't mind if we have to push it on to next week. We said before we might have to do that sometimes. We're talking. We're being organic. That's cool. Earlier today, I was really stressed about editing last week's episode, making sure I had it done and uploaded. It's done. It's not uploaded because it takes ages and I've got to do the broadcast. But I don't feel stressed. I'm not allowing that to colour my life in that stressful way. I'm saying it's good that we got the edit done. I'm enjoying it. Some folks have suffered spiritual injury in organised religion, so your helpful intentions will actually harm them further. That's really interesting, isn't it? Yeah. That could be an entire topic. So I'm not going to delve into that too deeply because I don't want to sound foolish and uneducated. But I will educate myself further, and it could even be a topic, couldn't it? Should we quit Flux because it keeps making the... Let's disable Flux for an hour because it keeps making the screen dark. Right. This is important. I'm going to say it. Types of treatment. NHS for the UK. Where to get urgent help for mental health. In the UK, we've got, and they're going to list the numbers that we already say to you, the 118, the 116, 123 Samaritans. You can text shout to 85258. They're there, these lines, these things. But we're talking about serious, this is bad, who do I call? 111, an urgent GP appointment. So this is an urgent appointment to see a doctor. That can be used. But again, we're talking about crisis. So it feels to me like a 111, can I make an appointment? Right now they're flipping out, crying, and what this, again, it feels a little bit like maybe that's not the thing. But you can go to 999 and A&E. Accident and emergency, as much as it seems like it's only for things... Let's see if I can get it on the screen so you can actually see it. As much as it seems like it's only for things like broken bones or, I've cut my finger open and the dog's bit me toe. The dog actually did bite my foot so bad that I needed it to be... We had... I tell you a little story. Well, no, I'll tell you a little story. We're already on big face. My face can't get any bigger this week. This is big face. Tell you a little story. Once I dropped a dog biscuit under the sofa. It was really late at night, and the dog wanted the biscuit under the sofa. And I was saying to him, Nathan, look, just over in your bed, mate. Over in your bed. I'll get the sofa up, and then you can have your biscuit. And I was it's all, dark, and it's late at night. It was like 4 a.m. This was. It's late at night. Just, I need to turn the light on, the light switch. Without thinking, the light switch above the dog's bed. Without thinking, I stepped towards the dog's bed. Now, this dog, Nathan, he didn't like people stepping to him. He didn't like that. I'd already told him to go in the bed and leave the biscuit alone. So I was already being reasonably firm with him. I never got cross with shouting mean at Nathan, but he'd had a difficult life. He'd probably been abused in some way. He was scared of violence, and this wasn't a good setup for a situation. But it was 4 a.m. I wasn't thinking straight. I just wanted to give him the biscuit and get him to his bed because it was bedtime. So I stepped to his bed to go and switch the light switch on. Before I could switch the light switch on, before I could hit that button, dog was attached to my foot. Oh, I squealed. I did. I was like, Nathan, no! High pitch like that. No, Nathan, no! Like, and in these situations, I've discovered, what I am quite good at in a crisis is going cold, calm, like eye of the storm. Let's just get this done. So I dropped onto the table. He's attached to my foot at this point. I'm moving so you can't see me. Sorry about that. I dropped onto the table. He's attached to my foot. And I just thought, if I stay really still, I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to cause any more aggro. I'm not going to make him scared of me anymore. I'm not going to cause him to worry. I'm just going to stay really calm, and he's going to let go. And there was enough time for him to really have a good with his teeth, like a really down with his teeth, and enough time for me to think, I hope I hope he does let go, because if not, I don't know what the next step really is going to be. He did let go. He did. It was enough time for these thoughts to happen in my head. I was just very, hurt like chuffing chuffery. And then, of course, I said to myself, right, yeah, maybe my foot smells sketchy. It always does, my feet, but it clearly was a personal space issue for this dog. It was clearly a personal space issue, and I forgot it because I wasn't thinking. So it's my bad. I could have avoided it because I'm the smart one. The dog, okay, he sometimes bites. Okay, I'm in control of that. I don't let him around people. He's sadly passed now, hasn't he? We had to deal with that. Blow on his, I don't know what you do. Ooh, he looked pretty in pictures, but when he's going, he was a tough one. So, but I never had to. I always just stayed really calm, and he always let go. Except the last time, like I said, if you remember, the last time he stepped it up another little bit of a gear, and it was a bit more scary. And the vet advised that I should do the right thing for the safety of the family and the people around me, and also that he'd had a really long life, and this was possibly his way of saying, I'm hurting, something's not right. So we decided it was an overnight decision, wasn't it, but one that I had to take on good advice. And I do feel that he was a rescue dog, and he was really old by that point, and the vet told me, so I just did what the vet said, and I had to be there, and do that with him. Had to take him through that. It was really hard as well, because obviously a couple of days before he just nearly bit my arm to pieces and sent me to the A&E. But getting a bit off topic here, but I had to be warm and close, and that island of compassion that I was there all his life as that. Even though he sometimes made these mistakes, I never punished him for that. I always tried to manage his behaviour so that he was not a threat to anyone. And we did. I was basically, a couple of people got a little nip here and there, but I was the only person that got any serious biting. It happened to me, really. So I was happy to deal with it. And that's how that happened, isn't it? That's what happened. It made me feel really sad. It's making me feel a bit sad now, really. Mental Health Monday, eh? But what I'm trying to say is, that happened to me, right? And I had to go upstairs at 4 a.m, take my sock off. Oh, the blood. Oh, I don't want to make you feel bad. Nasty infection. Oh, it was when we went to A&E. I went to A&E because this is what, thinking about A&E, isn't it? This is what you think about. The doctor, 5 or 6 in the morning now. This is 6 in the morning or 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning by the time the doctor looked. The doctor, this was one of these situations where he's like, okay, so let me take a look. We've got a dog bite here. We've got a dog bite. And can you put your foot up for me? And just remove the... And he pulled a face like that. Pulled a face like that. A&E, accident and emergency. Accident. What do you say in America? What do you say in America? A&E. Emergency ward, emergency room. A&E. Accident. ER. Oh, that's it in America, isn't it? ER. There's a whole television show called it. I should have remembered. ER. ER sounds cooler. Accident emergency. So, he pulled that face. This face of concern. And then he had to go and get 2 other people. He got people, not just to help him, but just to have a look. You know it's bad when the doctor calls in the nurses so they can just have a look. So have you seen this one? You're not going to believe this, Mandy. You're not going to believe this. Come and see this fella's what used to be a toe. So I'm so grateful to the emergency services, to our National Health Service. I'm so grateful to them. I feel so sorry they're overburdened. But yeah, he fixed me up right good and proper. Sewed that chuffer back on. So that's what you think of when you go, I don't want to make you feel gruesome in your tummy. I don't want to make you, bad, I don't want to make you feel bad. But this is what you think of, isn't it, when you think of A&E? You think of, I've gone through a drastic trauma, something bad. So I've chopped me chuffing, my dog's bit my toe off. Gone through that. Now I need to go straight to the hospital. That's A&E, isn't it? That's how you think of it. But mentally, where's the point where someone says, that's like a missing finger, that's like a broken arm? Where's the point when you say that? I need to go to A&E. And it's surprising to me, if it's surprising to me, it might be surprising to some of you, that's the place that the advice, we've talked about talking to the doctor, we've talked about making an appointment, we've talked about going on that waiting list. If it's gone down this road and you're at breaking point, they're actually saying, get down to A&E. Now, I'm surprised by that because I would have thought the people at A&E are like, well, we need to deal with the people who have got the toes bitten and the broken arms. We can't just be dealing with mental health crises. What are we going to do for... there's no bandage for that, is there? There's no stitches for that. So what they have to potentially or possibly do, which can be really helpful, so let's not underestimate this, they're suggesting you go there, is they can help you to calm down, potentially with medical, sedatives or something like that. They can help you to alleviate some of the symptoms of your breakdown with, let's be frank about it, medication. But sometimes that medication can help to bridge the gap between breakdown and recovery. So it doesn't mean you're going to be drugged your whole life. It just means that you've got something to help. The doctors give you tablets when you've got people are so happy to take a tablet when they've got a headache or when they've got a broken arm. They'll take the pain medication. They won't give themselves anything for their mental state. They'll self-medicate for the mental state. They'll have a drink. They'll have 2. They'll have 5. Let's see what other tablets are available. I'm not going to talk about that too excessively because we're on Twitch. There's terms of service. Unless we're taking it seriously, I'm not going to joke about it. So that happens in A&E. This is what they're suggesting. Get down there if you're at breaking point. It's hard. You don't want to take yourself there. You won't want to. You don't necessarily want to feel like taking somebody else. But that's what we've got. That's our option here. That's our. I don't want to make you feel bad here, but how it's treated in A&E. The staff should treat you with respect. They should look after immediate physical and mental health needs. They'll also refer you to a liaison psychiatric service or local crisis resolution and home treatment team. And I feel really bad saying this on the internet because I'm trying to offer support. I don't want you to feel that this isn't going to work. I want you to know that at crisis point there's somewhere to turn, and they will. That night when things are really up the chuffing wall, you'll get through it together. These people will help you. But I also want you to understand that it's not good enough. That referring you to a local home treatment team or liaison service is not the same as... It's like, imagine if you went in with my bleeding foot or your broken arm and they refer you to the X-ray plastering home treatment liaison. I'm going to refer you to the Stitches liaison service, and in about 6 weeks, someone will come round, and if you're still bleeding, we will stitch you up. Sit tight, that's not. I don't know how long it takes. 6 weeks might be an overestimation, of course, but I'm not happy with that. I'm sure most people aren't. I wish there was something better. And the only other option I can suggest is, as I've said before in the broadcast, bring in someone you share care with, that cares. It might be an adult, maybe. I mean, I'm an adult. You're an adult, someone older, an older adult that we think of as an adult, because we still think of us as kids. It might be someone that whoever you're helping equally respects. It might be someone who can offer this comfort. They might have somewhere to stay. Someone that, that's the only other thing I can suggest. They might not be a serious professional A&E doctor, but if the only other option is nothing, I think you definitely should call someone that you trust. Trust is a good word, isn't it? Get yourself into a safe space. Maybe they can call the doctor. Maybe they can help with this. Get yourself into a safe space if you don't feel like going to A&E. But these are the options. And then we're on to making a safety plan. I feel really bad about that, I'm going to cover that a little bit more here. I'm just going to say this a bit more. Go to A&E. That's it, is it? I'm not going to go on a rant and complain, but that's it, is it? Go to A&E. I mean, Snips works in hospital. Look, my children's hospital has a dedicated psychiatric ER, so that's good. But I mean, I feel bad that we don't have enough of that. Yeah. And I was going to say, you work in hospital, so you know all about it. You know what it's like to be overrun with hospital-y things, and some things that are clear, like a broken bone. We get you on the X-ray, we get that set, we can deal with that, we can fix you up. You can probably feel like you're doing a good job, but when someone comes through and they're not really that lucid, they've got some funny ideas, they've been hurting themselves, they've been drinking a lot, not being able to give them the scan that says this is the thing that's wrong, not being able to pick out the social factors that have led to this and plaster cast them and fix them up, not being able to send them home all certificate and fixed and lollipop and sticker. That must be really devastating, because what you want to do is help people. What we want to do is help people, and the people who are given the brunt. This is the website from the National Health Service in the UK. It says go to them, go to the doctor, and go to the A&E. So they're funneling these people, me. I've been there. I've been to the doctor and talked about my mental health. They're funneling us, and when we get there, they're like, "Oh God, we're overwhelmed with all this other stuff. I'm here to help you, and I'd love to, but I know that the doctors." They love helping people, of course, but I also know they wish that there was a dedicated mental health service for this point of contact, for this, just the same way as you go to A&E. You should be able to walk through the doors any time of day or night, and as you've said, a psychiatric emergency room should be available to you, and all that other stuff. And like we talked about with viral infections, shouldn't be in the same rooms and buildings as the broken arms. Maybe this needs its own institution, and it's clearly not there. So I'm really sorry for you. If they're plugged into the system, you can look them up for a clearer picture of what might be going on, get them plugged in. Yeah, that's true. That was at the very start. We said get on the list, didn't we? Get on the list. I absolutely agree with that. And the doctors know all about this sort of stuff, of course. They're trained in it. But they're not specialists in every area, and most of the time we want to see the specialists. I just feel we need more of that, don't we? I feel it's unfair, and I feel a bit sorry that I'm burdening the National Health Service with more and more. I'm trying to direct people to them. So yeah, that's just my feelings on that. I had to say it. So the plan, the crisis services plan. I'll give you a brief overview of this, and we'll do this next week. I'll give you a brief overview, because I did promise it, so I'm not going to pull out at the last minute and not deliver. Ooh. Don't get saucy. Don't get saucy. Look, I wanted to just get the beautiful ideas that I wanted to share. That's amazing about this is how can I plan for a possible crisis? What a beautiful idea to plan for a crisis. To plan for a crisis. It might not happen, but you've got a plan. I'm not saying you should dig a big hole in the garden and start collecting up tinned goods and bottles of water, put a big lead roof on it, mattress. I'm not saying, it might not be that far sort of planning, but crisis management planning, we tried to talk about this from the point of view if you are having the problem. We didn't do enough of that maybe for my liking this week, but crisis management planning for you, if you have ever felt a bit stressed that things are building up, if you've ever felt like you might be on your way to a nervous break. I'm joking about it because people say, I'm on the way to a nervous breakdown, all this stress. But if you've ever felt that sort of stuff, it might be worth looking into what could happen in the future and what you would want to do, if it did. And that's what this is. It's a really good concept. It helps you to explore ideas for help and support. It suggests all this sort of stuff that we talk about here. Talk to your general practitioner, to your doctor. Look at Local Mind, that's this website. Find details of helplines and listening services. I'm always bringing them up. Read our information for mental health problems. That's what we do online here, isn't it? Talk peer support. That's talking to your friends. We encourage it. Make a self-care box. That's an interesting one that we might do as like a little nice video episode maybe one day. Making a self-care box. I'll tell you what I put in that. Chocolate and cake. Cake and chocolate. Chocolate, cake. I can't advise that you smoke on the internet. What else can I put in there? Probably video games. I'd probably put video games in there. Hearthstone. I love-hate relationship with Hearthstone. Putting Hearthstone in would be like putting crack cocaine in there. Oh, it makes me feel good, but it's expensive and bad for your teeth. Well, actually, Hearthstone's not bad for your teeth, is it? But I'd put computer games in there. Put chocolate. Have I said chocolate? I think I've said chocolate, haven't I? Nice tea. Self-care box. Puppies, my dog would be, he can't go in the box. He's got to be with me all the time. Otherwise, and that reminded me, in 15 minutes, his back end will explode on cue. So I've got to get him out there in a minute. Find a recovery college. Recovery colleges offer courses about mental health and recovery in a supportive environment. Oh, I didn't know that. We'll look into that another time. A box of puppies. You can't. It's not vegan. It's not vegan. If you're going to get a dog, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine to get a puppy. I understand. Not all rescue dogs are family dogs. Not all families can take the risk of a rescue dog. Not all rescue dogs are a risk, of course. There's some really lovely ones, but majority of the time, you'll be all right. So better to adopt. If you can find a puppy through a rescue, even better. But when I got Marlo, I'd done 15, 20 years with a rescue dog, and this time I didn't rescue him. I didn't go to a breeder because it's not vegan. I couldn't say, here's some money for your dog breeding business. Enjoy that money. Breed another dog. Put an advert out and sell another one. But we did know somebody, found somebody who simply had extra dogs. They had a litter because they wanted their own puppy from this dog. So they ended up with more dogs than they thought they could deal with. So, I sort of rescued it before it got to that, didn't I? They weren't making money off it. Let's put it like that. But yeah, of course, rescue. Don't adopt, don't shop. Adopt, don't shop. Adopt, don't shop. And maybe in the long run, vegans just think maybe we shouldn't be breeding loads of dogs for money. So it's a bit sad, isn't it? Maybe the dogs won't exist so much anymore. Something we can come to in the long run, can't we? We can think about the ethical implications of canine breeding after we've sorted out not killing and eating the other animals. Maybe, priorities list. So look, make friends. I've veered into veganism then. I told you I'm not going to be a vegan battering ram. I don't have the venom in me anymore. Other than for other vegans, I'm cross when other vegans are going on about their chuffing dinner all the time. Look, here you go, you tomato plants. I'm joking. But no, a little diversion before we finish off this thing will be to veganism. So I'll finish off the thing first, and then we'll do the diversion. All right. Make plans with friends or family, because this is important. I've read this earlier. I know what it is, so I'm just going to give you the overview. Basically what they're saying is tell people in advance, I feel on edge. I might be going downhill. I know this sounds silly, but in 2 months' time I could be heading for a breakdown. This is what I want you to do. This is what I feel like. This is what's appropriate. Even if I don't, I'm telling you now, even if I don't want to go to A&E, I think it might be, if I get to this stage, it might be worth it. It might never happen. We might be having a laugh. Continue feeding the ducks. Don't worry about it. But listen, you've got to tell people what would be good for you in advance to help you. That's a really good tip. It sounds silly. I don't think many people have ever done that. But that, and on top of this one, make an advanced statement. This is a really serious one, so I want to make sure I say it seriously. When we talk about those things like getting sectioned, using the mental health services to stay in a facility, if that's what it comes to, if that's what you need, it might be good for you. Before you get there, you could actually write down what you feel comfortable with, what sort of place you will and won't feel comfortable staying. Because sometimes, if you're at a real extreme, people might want to take that out of your hands. Well, you've got it written down. Me in my right mind today, feeling a little bit on edge, feeling like I might, what if the worst happened? It says here your food. It says here your food preferences. I'm a vegan. It wouldn't be bad. I mean, any of us could have a serious mental breakdown. We could go through something extremely stressful and traumatic. Any of us. That's human. It's like, imagine, I don't want you to imagine bad things. People have car crashes all the time. You don't say, oh, well, that could never happen to me, do you? You worry about it. You put your seatbelt on. You drive carefully. Any of us could have a mental health crisis. And if that happens, and I had to, if I had to go to some sort of facility, and they tried to feed me animal products, and they didn't realise that I had a personal belief, and that would be bad. I could write it down, couldn't I? I might do that myself. I haven't done this. I might do it tonight. Just little bullet points, views, opinions, preferences, what sort of things where you draw the lines in your right mind, why you're worried about it, and then you can stop worrying about it. That's something else we talk about on Mental Health Monday. You stop worrying about it, you distract yourself and move on. So in that vein, the last 15 minutes are going to be vegan questions. And I'll tell you what, the thing I was cross about is I see a lot on Twitter of vegan promotion, the veganuary thing. It seems to be the veganuary in the UK, I don't know if it's global, but we have a veganuary. January is hijacked by a company to promote veganism. It's good because it promotes veganism, but what it seems to have happened is they've got this media presence and they now use their veganuary brand to sell other brands. The other day they literally had a tweet that said Burger King are doing vegan burgers on Deliveroo. Here's the link code, get some money off. And I thought, you're advertising Burger King on your vegan message activism Twitter. You're advertising Burger King. That disgusts me. It's worse. It's not so bad when a non-vegan advertises Burger King because that's them. But when you're actually understanding of the ideology and the ideas, and you just don't care enough because it's financially better for you, or you don't care enough because it's about your food and not the animals, that gets me down a bit. So I'm not vitriolic about veganism as much anymore. I don't need to bang everyone's head and make their own changes in their own time. We'll give them some information from time to time, great. But I am vitriolic about the vegans who aren't vegan enough. Or at least the ones who are inadvertently promoting animal slaughter. The ones who promote them, the supermarkets do my head in, because the supermarket's got a butcher in it. Tesco's got a butcher. I don't care about Tesco's new vegan pizza. They've got a fucking butcher. So yes, sometimes I buy food from Tesco's. Yes, I do. I'll admit it. Hands up. I have to live in this society. I have to make concessions sometimes to my ideology. But I don't go and tweet about how good I am for doing it. I think, oh, chuff it, they've got a butcher. I wish I could make a better choice than this. Yeah, so that's my little rant. Got that out. Let's have a look at your question. I'll just scroll up. Sorry about scrolling your chat now, but your question was about plants, wasn't it? Critters. All the meat eaters like to point out my flaws and missteps along the journey. Yeah, it's easier, isn't it, than having a journey themselves. Is it? I let apex predators cat out to protect. Okay, yeah, absolutely yes. It's probably not vegan to buy 20 cats and train them to kill. That's probably not vegan. But to allow animals to live out their natural ecology in their natural ecology positions in the food chain is, because we're not here as people. I'm not going to say vegans, I'm going to say as people. We're not here to be the arbiters and the judges of which animal deserves compassion and which doesn't. We're here to be compassionate to all animals. So you can't say cat can't eat, let's save the mice. That's not compassionate to the cats. You need to be compassionate to nature entire. Coyotes, yeah, you don't want to be compassionate to the coyotes and give them the cat as well, do you? So you need to be compassionate entire. And like I said, we're not here to make those value judgments over which animal is more valuable. We're here to just defend nature in entirety. We ourselves won't go out and be a predator. That's what we can do. Definitely don't need to do that. I've got so much wonderful scientific discoveries of wonderful nutritious foods that I don't need to go out and do a kill to eat. I definitely don't need to do that. But if cat does, or I suppose it's natural that it does it, there are bigger questions. There are bigger questions in pet ownership, in continued breeding of predators. And we selected the cat to be domesticated. It shouldn't exist really, but it does now. There are grey areas and problems. There are problems with the pure ideology. But as I said earlier, and at other times, if we get caught up on these silly things, they're not that silly, are they? The lives of cats, they're not silly. They're not silly to the cats. But if we get caught up on the little issues, then we're not fixing the big issue. It's priorities. So when we stopped killing the animals, when we stopped enslaving them for milk and stuff like that, then we can start to look at which ones we exploit, own, and prolifically procreate, and for what reasons. I don't want to put poison out. I'd love to. Yeah, this is an ongoing problem at the allotment. We have a bit of like my mom. She wants to use the poisons and things, but I want everything to be organic. Sometimes we lose crops through pests, and sometimes we don't. But overall, yeah, it's tomatoes. If they decimate everything, this is really important. If a pest or an insect or an animal is going to decimate everything, even though you're vegan, it's okay to protect your interests. Again, I'm not going to be feeding my cat to the coyotes. I'm not going to feed myself to the coyotes. If a coyote bites me like my dog did, I'm not going to be really calm and quiet and not hurt it because I'm a nice person to animals like I was with my dog. I'm going to hit it with the stick and say, get off my chuffing foot. It's okay to defend yourself in that aspect. So it might not be your livelihood. Yeah, you might still be able to get more tomatoes. There might be a balance. This is up to you in your soul, how far you want to push this balance. And one day when the world is fully vegan, we won't have to worry in our souls because the choices will be easier and clearer. We'll have better solutions maybe because more people will be thinking about it. But the owls will die if you take out the mice poison. The Planet I Spoke has male and female. She's using the voice of the sun. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's about being more in tune with the ecosystem, isn't it? So there are ways of doing it that are more natural, that prevent the critters in a more natural way, and there are poisons which are probably not that natural, are they? So I veer on the side of let's try the natural, lose a bit of crop, take it in our stride. But if it's going to be an entire decimation, I say, right, that's the line. I'm not going to allow the ecology to ruin my life. I'm going to take a step to balance that, and it might be that some critters end up dead at my hand. You know what? Sometimes I've done that. Sometimes I will do it in the future, I imagine, even though I'm vegan and it goes against my ideology. The overall, I am an animal too. My family are also animals that I'm trying to protect and feed. So the priorities, it's why I talk about priorities. The priorities kind of say, look, if they're going to threaten that, if they're going to eat my food, I can stop them from doing it. I can defend myself. I'm not going to go out there and attack all the critters. I'm not going to kill everyone's, vermin everywhere, so that nobody has any of their. I'm not going to destroy the ecosystem, but my little allotment, my little patch, I'm going to do a bit of if it comes to it, you know, if it's full destimation, I might have to do a bit of slug pellets or whatever the thing is. But I really don't want it to come to that, so I do all this other stuff like put in. For slugs, we put out eggshells and holly and prickly things and copper. They're not supposed to crawl. None of it really works, but you try, don't you? You try. Yeah, there you go. My dog does nothing to defend the yeah, I let the dog loose and it chases off all the snails, but they move really slowly, don't they? So they're scared and they're frit and they're moving really slowly, but they just can't get out in time. I don't know what you. In America, you've got raccoons. You see, that's different. Bears. We don't have that round here. We've got a foxy. That's as bad as it gets. A foxy. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Don't worry yourself too much. Is the main takeaway from that. If you're thinking about it, then you're thinking enough. That's the key with veganism. If you're thinking about it, you're making other choices that are easier to make. You're drinking the soy milk instead of forcing a cow to live in a shed and have its baby taken away and its udders tweaked. You know, if you're able to make these other choices in little ways, these other dominoes will fall into place, I'm sure. And with that said, what an exciting week we've got lined up ahead of us. Next Monday we'll get onto the planning again. We'll look at it again, maybe. I'll prepare another episode next Monday for this. But until then, we're going to be on art on Wednesday. I'm definitely going to get on stream. I'm promising it. I don't like to make promises because I feel like sometimes I don't follow through. Sometimes, you know, it might be that something happens and I need to take a box to a dog or a dog to a box or something. But I will endeavour. I want to be on Wednesday for an art take. That's what I want to do. Have an art conversation about something. We're also going to have this continued uploading on Ganji Kid, the full stream archive. That's going to be there. And on top of all that, this is now the new channel, Ganji Cuts. And this week we are releasing what I discovered on the Fortnite grind, video essay, conversation about Fortnite and how it makes me feel. So there's a new video this week on there. And go and watch the bus driver simulator video because it's funny. It's funny. Yeah, I honestly promise you it's funny. If you don't think it's funny, there's something wrong with you. And you know there's something wrong with you because we're all here. That's what we're here for. There's something wrong with all of us. We're human, we're flawed, we're broken. It's not us. I'll tell you what, it's not us, it's not you. It's not you. Your response is correct. Your response is correct. It's the rest of the world that's out of whack at the moment. No wonder there's 8 million people can't get help for mental health because they're not badly sick enough, but they feel not right, not happy. That's the world doing it to us. We're correct. Why should you feel perfectly 100% A-OK with what's going on all over the world at the moment? You know, forget your politics. I'm not even going to convince you of this side or that. You know, you know, there's things out there that aren't quite up to scratch that we're going to try and do our best to improve. So you be good, my little puckos. You be good. And if you can't be good, then you're a chuffer